I'm not in love with the words masculine and feminine for a lot of reasons. It's a world in which gender's at stake, as you and I both know so deeply. But they're good words. I mean, they're necessary words, and it's good to invoke them. There's a very beautiful structure in Kabbalah that appears at another one of the moments of Kabbalah's explosion in Safed over the Sea of Galilee in Israel in the 16th century, right as the Renaissance is happening. There's a band of erotic mystics, right? A band of, I call them Chavraya Kadisha, which is the language of the Zohar in the 13th century. They're the holy band. Because it's never one person. But that's really important in Kabbalah. It's never the sage on the stage exactly. It's not quite that. It's a band of mystics. It's Steven Spielberg just did a beautiful movie, right, about just the pain and heroics of men at war, and it's called Band of Brothers. This notion of the band. Sally's father, Sally Kempton's father, Murray Kempton, who was kind of before our time, was the premier journalist in America for 40 years. And, Murray was a big pacifist, but he always would talk about, like, the most real and beautiful time of his life was in the Japanese theater in World War II. And just like, Murray, what are you talking about? You're a pacifist. What are you doing? He said, I was with my band of friends, and we had each other's back, and we loved each other. And we held each other. And he said, I've never had that kind of intimacy ever again that we had in this band back there. So that's what Kabbalah. Kabbalah is always a band of brothers, sometimes brothers and sisters, and it needs to be brothers and sisters, who come together, who love each other madly. And that's very deep, right? What holds the band is not mere intellectual sophistry or gymnastics or even mastery. What holds the band in the language of Simon, son of Yochai, who's ascribed as the author of the Zohar, is B'chavivut Talia Milta. It all depends on love. And they did do a song on that later, right? But it's like so there's this band of brothers that love each other madly. In Safed, Luria, Isaac Luria convenes this band, and he says, let's not talk about masculine and feminine. And I'm trying to, if it's okay, just give you a little bit of the flavor of Kabbalah as we can kind of feel it. It's fragrance in the room. It's got a wafting, beautiful fragrance. So he says, let's not talk about masculine and feminine. He says, let's talk about lines and circles.
Structure and life force in a way.
Right. There's this kind of, line, structure, and life force, nice, beautiful. So lines, structure, lines is a structure of cosmos. It's a geometric structure, and lines and circles is also a structure of cosmos. They're inherent to cosmos, and they actually appear in the first nanoseconds of the Big Bang. They're before there's even an emergence of gender, because we have, of course, about 12 billion years of eros before there's any sex. If you kind of track your cosmos, right? You got 12 billion years of kind of before there's any kind of sexuality in the world. So you've got this lines and circles. So line is thrusting forward. Line is distinguishing. Line is analysis. Line is hierarchy. You're bottom or higher up in the line. So there's this line quality in cosmos, and lines have shadows. They can discriminate in a good way. Let's discriminating wisdom, or they can discriminate in a very bad way. Lines we actually distinguish, but then there's people who are on the other side of the track. So the shadow of a line is racism, for example. But the beauty of a line is all of science, right? The ability to make distinctions. And then circle, there's no hierarchy, that we're all equidistant from the center. It's embracing, it's holding, it's about depth, right? It's about container. It's about this energy of a circle, right? There's an energy to the eros, which is the force energy you were referring to. So reality is lines and circles all the way up and all the way down, right? All the way up the evolutionary chain, all the way down the evolutionary chain. There's lines and circles. And so let's say André or Marc, we both are line and circle, and we're both a unique combination of lines and circles. So yes, we have a kind of core guy and a core girl, core boy, core girl, but in a certain sense, the gender community got something right. They were asking the right question, which was, when a baby's born, it's a boy. And I've been at 4 births, I have 4 children, right? So, it's a boy, it's a girl, right? There's this moment. And the gender critique of that is, yes, it's a boy, it's a girl, but I'm more than boy. I'm more than girl, and that's profound. That's not dismissible. Something very important in that Kabbalah really understood. Kabbalah said, yeah, you got that. You're more than boy, you're more than girl. You're not less than, but you're more than. And what's your more than? You're a unique interpenetration of lines and circles. I'm a unique gender. That's very beautiful. So in other words, the old gender categories, there's this intuition and the evolution of consciousness. Those are insufficient, but we don't kill the category. We actually evolve the category. So I'm unique gender. I'm a unique interpenetration of lines and circles. And to actually know who I am is to know my unique gender. What are my strong line qualities? What are my line qualities that are in shadow? What are my strong circle qualities? What are my circle qualities that are in shadow? And then I can literally make a chart. And I often do that with students. Okay, what are the 10 qualities of blind? There's about 10 qualities of blind. Each one has a shadow and a light version. 10 qualities of circle. Each one has a shadow and a light version. And then chart myself. And all of a sudden I have this very deep access to my identity. That's Kabbalah.